Don't forget that. Welcome to Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. Passive. Really, I think this massive, stable cash flow, lavish, about to finance for the masses, this 14% in manufactured housing. Really, all the deals I've been doing is kind of hard to keep them counting. Not really, 10% for the year, it's clear that bitch the new way. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're here today again on another episode of the Mobile Mailbox Money channel here at Fox Cigar Lounge in Old Town Scottsdale. Here on a Friday afternoon with Sean Gibson. Sean, appreciate having you back on the channel today.
Well, thank you. We're taking a busy day out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you can just introduce yourself for the viewers that don't know you.
Yes. My name is Sean Gibson with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund and also Mobile Mailbox Money. Of course, we're here all in Guajardo. So actually, I'm stealing him for the day for a couple hours, about hours to talk about the market and really catch up.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just sit down, have a stick today. Sean, what are you smoking on?
This is a Camacho, looks like. My go-to. I got it from you. You always smoke those, so Camacho. But what about you? What are you smoking?
You got the Nicaraguan Camacho.
Nicaraguan Camacho.
I always go with the Padron 1964. Definitely a favorite of mine out, above all else. Camachos are great cigars as well.
Yes.
But Sean, what kind of, inquiry, what kind of questions, what are we talking about today?
I'm going to hijack this. So I'm sure everyone's seen this before, but we don't all get to see what happens with real estate investing on a day-to-day basis. And all of us always busy doing deals, owner finance, buying and selling. So this is kind of the time that I can ask you questions and we see what's going on in the real estate market. So first of all, you're doing a ton of stuff. Let's talk about how much capital you raised in the last couple of weeks. Let's start there because you don't understand. In real estate, you need capital.
Absolutely, yeah. So, in the past 30 days, we've raised $1.8 million.
Woo!
About 1.5 in the fund from one investor outside of Business Network International, but actually a reoccurring investor from Business Network International, about $100,000 investment. Found a private and capital investor from Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. So we've acquired actually about 18 positions and we'll acquire, I think, 5 or 6 more today. So that's upwards of $10,000 in monthly cash flow that we'll actually procure and start receiving our pro forma payments next month.
Wow.
Got a lot of bells and whistles moving right now, a lot of acquisitions, a lot of capital we're raising, and we're raising more. You could invest today at Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, Accredited, that's a Reg D offering for a 1-year term at 10% net paid monthly, a 3-year term at 12% net paid quarterly, or a 5-year term newly originated in a monthly distribution at 14%. We've got some newer opportunities in single family seconds, providing us a bank quality position with a new second lien position and new debt at 65% loan to value or less, with the position providing sufficient cushion for us to feel comfortable in a risk mitigated strategy in the bank's position at the end of the day.
Right.
So a lot of going on, that's going live here, I think today, PLOCloans.com. It's actually a private line of credit opportunity that's an asset-based bailout loan for individuals in foreclosure who may have 2 to 5% on their first, which is like gold out on the marketplace.
Right.
So just a couple things that are going on.
Okay. So I'll ask you a question too. So it's October and we go November, December, people eating turkey, getting gifts, and a lot of investors kind of fall off. What do you guys do is different where you don't kick your feet up and eat turkey and call it a day and wait for the next year?
Yes.
What do you guys do?
So there's business to be had, whether it's any time of year, up or down market. At the end of the day, these need for housing as well as for these loans on seconds is now more than ever. And I think with our strategy of guerrilla marketing on social media through different avenues, using AI generated videos to additionally provide value out in the marketplace, people can really explore what we have at their leisure as they're maybe spending time with their family and such. And as these holidays come into account, it's important to take into factor that we're all wanting to spend more time with our friends, our family, and the people we care about.
Absolutely.
And that's what we provide in the investment category an income-oriented investment strategy for you to go and spend more time with the people that you love and cherish. So, guerrilla marketing, a lot of stuff online, from mobile mailbox money channels across all platforms to Win Mobile Homes channels across all platforms. And now we'll have a new channel for Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. And I think we're starting a podcast called Thicker Wallets.
Okay, I like that.
So it's kind of a play on bigger pockets. You see the big triple exit that Bigger Pockets has done from like $5 million to $50 million to $100 million.
You're right.
So there's, power and attention at the end of the day. And that's what we do, is post these videos and speak candidly out online, provide educational content, podcast masterminds, and all the above. To get that magnet of investors that may not have the time to go and establish themselves as a private lender, or someone that wants to buy and flip single family properties.
Right.
It's all fun and games until you actually get into it, and there's more sweat equity involved than you originally anticipated. So, just going off on a tangent.
Yeah, no. So I was either manufacturing note king, but now I see you actually offering notes on single family. So what made you make the transition? Because you're already killing it. I think I saw on the website you sold like 6 or 7 notes in one day. So why even make that turn to single family when you've got the market pretty much cornered on manufactured housing in Arizona?
So we've gotten a unique opportunity in single family second lien position bailout loans that are collateralized by second liens, right? And found out that there's an exemption in the law that offers open-ended HELOCs, so private capital, home equity lines of credit, right, that are open-ended with no balloon or anything of that nature. And we originate those positions at 18% and then borrow at less than what we lend at. The reason why we're diving into this opportunity is because we're getting first right of refusal of 20 to 50 positions a month at $20,000 to $80,000. That's a $50 million conversation.
Right.
And on top of that, it's not going anywhere. The amount of people that have big equity in their property and may have a 2 to 5% mortgage is literal gold out in the marketplace, and that's millions of Americans. There's also huge problems in personal debt, so if that escalates, people need lending and they have big equity in their property. There's billions of dollars being raised in personal loans, unsecured loans. This happens to be a superior strategy where we collateralize it against a single family property and hold 35% equity still in our position. So if they do end up going non-performing, we do our best to mitigate that, maybe throw payments on the back of the loan, or increase their balance, or, before we end up taking the property back. But there's additional return on investment to be had. If that borrower does go non-performing, and we want to mitigate that any way we can. But there's recourse within the strategy, whereas a personal loan market, they have to take that personal individual to litigation, get a judgment against their personal credit. That could take a year, where this is collateralized by literal gold out in the marketplace. It's like the new gold rush out here.
Right. So I always ask, obviously we all see the highs, but I'm sure you've got challenges in the week. One thing real estate investors is, it's kind of a lonely game. When I have a problem, one person I always call would be his business partner, his dad, James. I get right on the phone, James, I got a problem. When you've got issues, how do you work those things? And what's your thought process if you're stumped? Because I was calling your father normally. That's my first call. No matter what I'm doing.
We've built up an intelligent staff behind our operations. It's not just me and say James, business partners here that you just call us. There's other checks and balances and intelligent individuals. We have, in manufactured housing, we actually hired a previous manager of some mobile home parks who ran their brokerage. She's now running our brokerage as a sales manager. Serena's our executive sales agent. We have 3 other licensed sales agents, so that's about 6 or 7 on the sales side. 15 in rehab, so private contractors that really work for us primarily, as well as a staff of 10 VAs to help administrative concerns and issues and problems. So a well-oiled machine. It's a full-fledged company at the end of the day. This isn't just, one partnership where two guys are running amok at everything.
Right.
There's checks and balances and intelligence behind every position, every decision, and every risk mitigated, concern ends up getting tested by a few different avenues in order to make sure that we have a bank quality position, we're providing a quality product, and our investors and customers are satisfied. So camera ran out of memory. We were talking about when people have a lack of confidence.
Yes.
They really just need due diligence check boxes.
Pretty much what if you to death? What if this happens? What if this happens?
Yeah.
What if this happens? What if this happens?
Yeah, so, getting a proper education in any strategy is of utmost importance. If you need education in notes, you could go to the noteinvestoruniversity.com. They teach people to invest in notes. Or really, if you just have a couple of questions, you could call Sean or call us today at 602-888-CASH. We're happy to walk you through it. There's risk mitigators and within there. And the main thing to focus on is there's physical collateral out in the market. We're not going to just have that position go fugazi, right? It's not like a stock where the company, if they go out of business, it just goes away. There's a physical collateral out in the market. Super good to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't want to stay too long because his birthday a couple weeks ago, so I want to really talk to Alden. Whenever I talk to Alden, I always find like a new gem. Right now, well, that's Scott stuff for you. But right now,
woo! Wow.
So
it's booming out here.
Right. So right now we've got an opportunity. Alden and James have the opportunity to buy 14 manufactured homes. So I'm going to talk to him about that. But obviously, leave it with you for one last thing. But got a huge opportunity, but I'm trying to work on that. So
yeah, we're still buying mobile homes, still buying manufactured housing. If an item is highly undervalued, misunderstood, and overlooked, there's an opportunity to be had with other industry magnates like Warren Buffett and others interested in manufactured housing specifically. That business is going nowhere. It'll scale tremendously over the next couple years. The need is still there. Hedging in affordable housing, to have the opportunity to go buy 14 assets, maybe get $500 a month in cash flow for a $25,000 acquisition and maybe exit at $50,000 a door and cash flow of $500 a month, that's $1 million right there of pro forma opportunity, possibly around $1 million, right? So big strides, big steps, takes a team, and that's why we're even sitting here today, Scottsdale, Arizona, and that's what we call one step closer to financial freedom. That's mobile mailbox money.
Absolutely.
Feel free to buy a note today or start cash flowing and earning interest with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund 506C in as little as a 30-day program.
Hey, folks, buy notes. You can call me directly. If you go to our website at Mobile Mailbox Money or call me at 602-888-CASH, extension 106. And we're going to enjoy these cigars, and we're talking about real estate and buy some deals and sell some deals. And buy notes. Buy notes.
Bam, bam, bam. Housing. Really, other deals I've been doing that kind of hard to keep them counting. Not really. 10% for the year. It's clear that bitch the new wave. Little competition in my arena. Need a house, man, you call Serena. Strategy so boring, didn't even mean to not remind them. There's another check right behind them, 10% passive. The checks I've lined with collateral, 150 performing notes. I think I should take a sabbatical. Adaptable with the terms, justify that 1 year that you earned. 10% in bank quality notes that the market has you concerned. Accredited investors seeking stable returns. One thing I've learned, being burnt, you gotta invest long term to move the worm into the earn. Turn the page, turn and earn the page, earn.
I finance homes for the people big banks overlook. Not because they're risky, but because the system is broken. You've got families with income, a steady job, maybe a tax ID or a clean rental history, and still, they can't qualify for a traditional mortgage. I step in where lenders step out, offering seller financing on manufactured homes, typically on leased land. The buyer wins, but the investor, that's where it gets interesting. My average notes pay between $579 and $888 per month to go. Secured by a home, structured over 15 to 20 years. In a world of stock market chaos, inflation, and yield compression, my notes perform. And I don't chase equity. I own the cash flow. Whether you want to own a note or partner passively through a secured fund, you can finally build predictable income that doesn't depend on banks, tenants, or timing the market.
Visit mobilemailboxmoney.com or call 602-888-CASH and learn how to become the bank please.